Alright everybody, day number 2 on an official PvP server. Today we have a full day of adventure ahead of us. Let's get started. So just a quick little recap of day number 1 in case you missed it. Basically all we did was power level up to level 60 and that's pretty much it. If you're interested in seeing how I reach max level in about 2 to 3 hours, I'll link the playlist for this series in the top right corner of this video. Now, as for today, day number 2, we are starting fresh in the desert with nothing to our name. Our goal today will be to gear ourselves up, and if everything goes according to plan, we should be doing our first raid of this playthrough by the end of today. So if you've been watching my videos for a while now, then you know that I normally gear myself up just by farming everything that I need to craft some armor and weapons. For this episode, we're gonna do things a little bit differently just to keep things interesting. So instead of spending our time farming around for a bunch of items, which can be a bit boring, we're gonna instead visit a few thrall encampments that I've picked out, and we're gonna gear ourselves up from the actual loot that these thralls drop. Obviously, it's only thrall loot, so the armor and weapons are not gonna be the best for PvP, but they should be good enough to at least give us a fighting chance when we do go on our first raid later on today. Alright, so now that we have our basic starter tools and weapons, we're just gonna head over to Shaleback Hollow, which is located right over here. And here we're just gonna run to the very back of this cave. We're just gonna run past all the demonic shaleback. There's no need to fight them, we're just here to loot the chests at the very back. These chests back here at Shaleback Hollow is a really good early game location to pick up some decent tools and weapons right off the bat. Check it out, we just got a pickaxe and a perfected steel hammer, which is just perfect for us. We also get some nice resources as well. Now in this one here we get a few more resources. We also get an advanced weapon damage kit to increase the firepower of any weapon that we want, and a really useful steel knife to farm some hide. Here we'll get some gold and silver, which we'll probably use later on today to buy some goods from the merchants at Sepermeru. Now this final chest here is one of my favorite ones because it pretty much has a 100 respawn rate steel sickle that you can get. It's always really nice to have one early on because sadly there's not a stone sickle, so you usually gotta wait till you get some iron to craft one. Alright, so we just catapulted ourselves from the Stone Age to steel. We got all the tools that we need for the rest of our journey today. Now we're gonna make a quick stop by the summoning place located right over here to learn the salted pork recipe, and on our way there we'll pick up some feathers around the area in case we need to make some explosive arrows. Check out this massive tower out here. Holy smokes. That's insane. Here we are, let's get some feathers. There we go, that should be more than enough. Just need a couple to make 10 explosive arrows in case we decide to farm some star metal. Made it to the summoning place, and now we're gonna climb over this big wall. We're gonna get our salted pork recipe right over here. And now we'll be on our way. While we're passing by the sinkhole, I'm just gonna take a moment to farm some demon blood from these dogs, which we'll need to make some explosive arrows. Perfect, we got our demon blood and even some brimstone. Now we'll head over to the siege of Merayah, located right over here, and this will be the place where we'll get the weapons that we'll be using for today's raid. I'm gonna set a bedroll down right outside just in case I die. I really don't want to end up back at Noob River. So the thralls here at this camp, they drop some hardened steel weapons, which are a pretty decent replacement for stone weapons if you're just starting out on a new server like me. I'm hoping I can get myself a few hardened steel great axes for today's raid. I'm just gonna take out a few of them and then we'll see what we get from them. Alright, I took 2 of them down. Let's see what they dropped. Okay, we get a hardened steel sword and a shield. So not the best luck of the draw, but at least we have over 100 thralls out here that we can take down until we get what we need. So I'm gonna go ahead and take down a few more of them, and then I'll update you guys once I have a full inventory of loot. Not sure how long it's been at this point, but here's an inventory update. We've gotten quite a few weapons, but still no great axe. The RNG just isn't cooperating, but we'll keep it going as long as we need to. There we have it at last. We have our great axe. Now we'll try and get one more just to be safe for today's raid. Man, it is so satisfying to have a great axe this early on. It just obliterates everything. For now though, since we are on an agility encumbrance build, we'll just use the short sword since it's much faster. And we have our second one, finally. This has taken way longer than I expected. My luck just hasn't been the best today, but at least we can finally stop farming these thralls now. So we're not done here just yet. I still do want to go check inside the castle and see if there's any battering rams left, because I still haven't gotten a chance to raid with one yet, and it would be really cool if we finally got the chance to use one today. Here we go, into the castle. Oh, actually, I take back what I said earlier. I am absolutely the luckiest. Check it out. Somehow, there's still leftover explosive jars here. Even the battering ram. That's crazy. If these are here, I'm pretty sure Musashi's blade is here too. Yep, still here. Alright, so I'm gonna look around just a bit more. I know there should be a second battering ram here somewhere. Here it is, the second battering ram. Everything is going according to plan. We got some decent weapons, including a legendary katana. We got some explosive jars and 2 battering rams now, which is all that we're gonna need for today's raid. Hopefully we'll be able to turn these items into some massive profits. So before we get out of this area, I'm just gonna take a quick pit stop by the Kurak dungeon located right over here, and I'm gonna get some alchemical base by exchanging some of these blood crystals that I got earlier from one of the blood crystal rock noses that you can find in this area. We're gonna need the alchemical base to make some black lotus potion for our strength buff. Here we are, we have made it to the Kurak dungeon. Now let's just quickly get some cash boxes and be on our way. There we go, it's not much, but it should be enough alchemical base to make a few black lotus potions. Alright, so now that we have some weapons and some raid supplies, we're gonna start making our way to this area here so that we can farm some toxic glands from the scorpions to make some reaper poison. Since our current weapons aren't the best, the reaper poison is gonna help make them a little bit stronger so that we have a better chance at taking down our enemies later on today. There we go, perfect. We got tons of toxic glands to strengthen our weapons. Now we're off to the Sobek cave located right over here, and this is where we're gonna pick up some pretty decent starter armor to get us through today's raid. Here we are, we've made it to the Sobek cave, which is actually called Xalthar's Refuge. Here we're gonna be farming the thralls inside for their armor. We're gonna place a bedroll down just to be safe. So these Sobek thralls in here, they actually all drop some really good legendary armor that give you vitality points. We're going to be farming the entire cave, and hopefully by the end we'll have at least 2 complete sets of armor. So check it out, this regular Sobek thrall just gave us 2 pieces of armor. We just need 3 more and we'll have a full set already. So check this one out, we just got 3 pieces of armor and some weapons as well. These Sobek fighters with the special health bars, they'll usually give you more loot than the regular ones. Alright, so I'm just gonna clear out this entire cave now, and I'll just catch you guys at the end with an inventory update. Alrighty, so just wiped the entire cave and managed to secure 2 complete sets of armor. I think these will hold up just fine for today's raid. It would be nice if we could at least repair them since they do come a little bit damaged and we can't add attachments to them. But since they are considered legendary armor, we can't repair them unfortunately. Now, at this point in our journey, we have picked up some tools, some weapons, some raid supplies, and now we just picked up some armor. We're pretty much fully geared now and almost ready for a raid. Last thing we need are just some strength buffs, which will help us do a little bit more damage to our enemies. Alright, we're gonna start making our way to the Black Garden located right over here, and here we'll be farming some Black Lotus flower, which is one of the ingredients that we need to make some Black Lotus potions, which in case you don't know, that's just one of the strength buffs that we'll be using today. This is gonna be one super long risky walk all the way to the Black Garden because I've been reading global chat and apparently there's a cheating clan going around as per usual. We do have all of our inventory with us, so if we do run into them, we're for sure getting sent back to the Stone Age once again. I'm just gonna hope for the absolute best. I'll keep you guys updated. Alright, I got some great news to report. We have made it to the Black Garden, safe and sound. Now let's just get our Black Lotus flower and get out of here, because as you can hear, we're getting chased by like 10 gorillas right now. They are still chasing after me. Look at this. We got the whole jungle after us. So I did manage to pick up some Black Lotus flower. It was a bit difficult to pick up more because it was so dark and I was getting chased, but we have enough for today's raid. Now what I want to do next is to head over to Sepermeru all the way over here and buy some glass flasks from the merchant. These glass flasks are the final ingredient that we need for our Black Lotus potions since we already picked up some alchemical base at the Kurak dungeon. Now obviously we are pretty far away on the other side of the map, and I originally just planned to use a map room somewhere and teleport over to the dregs and just walk the rest of the road up to Sepermeru. But it looks like we are in luck today and we aren't gonna have to do that after all, because I have spotted all these teleporters all over the map, and it looks like this one takes you directly to the silver mine, which is right outside Sepermeru. So we're just gonna take advantage of these teleporters and save ourselves some time. Biggest downside to using these teleporters is the insane amount of corruption you get from traveling far distances. If we do run into anyone, we're gonna be in big trouble. Thankfully, we do have Conan here at Sepermeru. We'll just pay him a visit after we get these glass flasks and we'll get rid of our corruption there. Here we are, we have made it to Conan's tavern. Just gonna chill here for a bit. We'll try and be stealthy so we don't get seen. There we go, we are corruption free. Now we're gonna make our way to the Mounds of the Dead and pick up the final item that we need to make our second strength buff. We're gonna farm the wild boar for some raw pork to make some salted pork, which again, in case you don't know, that's just our second strength buff. Check it out, we got some movement down there. Would be a fun fight, but we're gonna avoid all conflict right now while we're getting ourselves up and running. The real fun will start at raid time. Just gotta be a bit patient right now while we build ourselves up for battle. And there we go, that's it. The final item on our list of preparations. Now we just need a place where we can process all these items that we picked up today. I could build a base and craft all the benches that I need, but honestly, I don't want to spend any more time doing chores. I just want to get to the fun part of this video and start raiding. So I think I'm just going to use the benches at a community center that I spotted earlier today over at Noob River. We're going to start heading there now and get these materials processed right away so that we can start scouting for a base to raid. Alrighty, and here we are, we have made it. This is the community center that I was talking about. As you can see, we have all the benches here that we could possibly need. We don't have to waste any time crafting them. Let's go ahead and grind down some stones because we're gonna need some salt for the salted pork. Thankfully this place does have a stove, so we'll be able to make the salted pork. Some of these benches already have some items. We're gonna try and avoid using the stuff here, but I am gonna trade this unprocessed iron stone that I farmed at the mounds for 2,000 iron bars. I'm also going to dismantle a lot of the hardened steel weapons that we got at the Siege of Merayah so that we can get some of those more expensive resources. So check it out, this is all the stuff we got from those weapons. Over 200 hardened steel, not bad at all. Now finally, the last thing we need are some Black Lotus potions and some Reaper poison. We'll wait for these to finish crafting and then we'll go stash our loot and then go find ourselves a nice base to raid. Since we're just going out to scout for now, I'm gonna leave my stash base really close to the community center in case we need to craft something else. I'll move all of our stuff later before raid time. Alright, there it is. All the loot is sorted and secure. Now we can finally get out of here and go find us a nice fun base to raid. Let's do it. Now before we get started with scouting, I do want to tell you guys a little bit about the current state of this server. So when I first joined here and recorded day 1 of this series, this server was one of the most active ones at the time. Now after I recorded day 1, I did take a week off the server to edit that first episode, and we just came back today, and honestly the server is not at all what it used to be. It's only had around 10 players online this entire time that we've been playing. I think the reason for the drop in population might have been a massive server war that just happened, and usually after those, servers do tend to die shortly after. So with this limited server population, we don't really have too many options for who to raid. I do want this to be an online raid, so I'm just gonna start looking for any bases of any of these players that are online right now, and hopefully we can find a promising base that's gonna bring some fun PvP action our way. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with scouting now. When I find a decent base, I'll let you guys know so that we can scout it together and come up with a game plan. Got some good news. Check it out, I think we found the one. Super massive base, and the owners are actually active, and they're probably the biggest clan that this server has right now. Let's see if we can find any weak spots in their build. Check this out, we got tons of chests in this room here, and it's only one wall to get in, which is perfect for a battering ram. We got some more chests on this side. This room could potentially be loaded. This base might be the one. Let's keep looking a bit more, see if we can find other rooms. Look at this, we just found a treasure room. It's loaded with some more chests. We just gotta break a wall or foundation, and we're pretty much in. Yeah, this base is perfect for a battering ram type of raid because it doesn't have crazy durability and it's really slow to raid with. So your best targets are going to be rooms with only a few doors or walls. We're going to try and go a little bit higher, see what else is up there. So the only way up there is with magic or with this elevator, but it's being guarded by these 2 thralls. We'll be okay now since it's not raid hours. We got another elevator up here. This one's missing a door, so we can just jump down and use it freely. So I'm guessing this is supposed to be the crafting room, but as you can see it is underwhelmingly empty inside, which I guess is a good thing because it means we don't have to climb all the way up here during the raid. We can just hit the bottom rooms. Alright, so it's pretty much settled for me. This is the best base that we're gonna find given the current state of this server. We still got a couple hours left until raid hours. I'm gonna take a little break from Conan now, and I'll just see you guys at raid time. Alright everybody, it's been a few hours now and raid time is soon approaching. We are on our way there now, but first I'm going to take a quick little detour to the Siege of Merayah and see if I can farm a few more battering rams just to make sure that we have enough for today's raid. Don't worry guys, this will only take a minute, just trying to make sure that we have enough raid supplies. So we managed to get 2 additional battering rams and some explosive jars. I think with this we're set for today's raid. Last thing we need to do is set up a raid base. So look what I just found. I was looking for a place to set up a raid base and ended up spotting this massive base right next to the one that we're planning to raid. Not sure how I missed it earlier when I was scouting this area, but look at this. The owners are actually online right now. We got 2 of them. I'm gonna put my loot away real quick and then we'll come back and scout it. If it looks promising, we might just raid 2 bases today. Don't really have anything too valuable to lose, so we'll just build a sandstone 3x3. Alright, loot is secure. Now let's go see if we're gonna be raiding 2 bases today. Okay, their base is rendering in. It looks like the crafting room is gonna be at the very top. Actually, they have a second crafting room down here as well, with a lot of worker thralls. Let's go check the top, see what's going on up here. Oh, they're here. I think we've seen enough. We're definitely raiding this place. It's honestly a lot better than that first base because they actually have benches here that we can loot. And most importantly, it'll be 2 of them defending, so that should be fun. We're gonna go back to base and wait out the last couple minutes there before raid hours. I really don't want them seeing us here and then they hide their stuff because they suspect that they're about to get raided. So I'll see you guys in a couple minutes for our first raid today. Alright, here we go, raid time. Super excited for this one. I'm really curious to see how well this Sobek armor and these weapons that we looted hold up in this raid. Let's find out if we can turn them into profits. So we're gonna start by raiding the top, mostly because I saw a fireball cauldron up there, and I'm hoping that that's where they keep all their dragon powder. Nice, they're still online. It's gonna be so much fun and absolutely nerve-wracking because this battering ram is so slow to raid with. It feels like any moment someone's just gonna sneak up right behind me and catch me with no stamina. It is painfully slow to use, but it does get the job done, and it's practically a free raid item if you get lucky and find it at the Siege of Merayah. Alright, we are in. Let's see what we got here. Okay, a lot of junk. We're gonna be very picky about what we take. I want to keep my stash very small. So no dragon powder, unfortunately, just some steel fire. There we go, some dragon powder. It's not much, but better than nothing, right? So that's pretty much it for this room. We didn't find anything too crazy. There's still no sign of the owners. They probably have no idea we just broke into their base. Let's go ahead and move on to the next room, make some more noise, see if they come out. For this next room, we're gonna break in through this wall. We got a sleeping player and a few benches. It's so loud, he's definitely gonna hear this. Yeah, the owner just posted in chat, he said someone is knocking. I don't think he has any idea what's happening. There we go, finally, 100 hits later and we're in. Sorta, actually, this thing's blocking the way. Let's go ahead and get this thing out of the way. He has no idea he's getting raided, he's gonna know now. There we go, we are officially in. Let's start looting. Like I said before, we're only gonna take what we need. So not much up here, but this lower floor seems to have more stuff. Could be a death trap with all the thralls I hear, but we'll go ahead and risk it anyways. We don't have much to lose. The chests are open and loaded. Look at all the star metal. We get a much needed tier 4 armor thrall, not bad. We also get some tar, we'll use it to make some explosives. We gotta finish looting, I can hear him upstairs now. It's about to be absolute chaos down here. Yep, here he is. Let's fight. Alright, I need a redo of that last fight. I fumbled so bad at the end. Thankfully we have one more set of armor for this exact scenario. If I die again, the raid's over. Let's make it count. We gotta get back there fast before he seals. This time we're just gonna loot everything. There's no time to be picky. Nice, it's still open here. Let's get our stuff back and take him down. Here we go, Godspeed to us. We got his loot. Now we gotta take out this thrall because he's not gonna leave us alone. Now we'll just start looting everything. We'll sort everything out later. We got a full inventory already. Let's get out of here and go depot, and then we'll come back for some more PvP. Alright, here we are, back at it. This place is still wide open. The owners is here, standing around. No urgency from him, just chilling during a raid. Let's see if he's up for a final fight. Alrighty guys, so I think that's gonna be it for this first raid. The owner has pretty much surrendered at this point. He's not even bothering to defend his base anymore, so there's no real point in continuing if he's not gonna put up a fight. We're gonna get out of here now and move on to our second raid of the night. Actually, before we head over to our last raid, we're just gonna give this clan some of the loot that we took just so that they don't end up completely set back by our raid. Alright, that is officially it for this raid. Appreciate the fights. Now we're off to our next one. Okay, here we go. Second raid of the night. Hopefully this one will be just as fun as the first one. We're gonna have a lot of thralls and golems to deal with here. It's about to get super noisy. So for this clan, it looks like there's only one member online right now. I know there's a few others, but they might have just become inactive after the server died recently. Let's go ahead and get started now. You guys already know the plan. We're gonna break into this room. There we go, the door is down. Now we do have a thrall in here that we're gonna have to deal with. This one's gonna take forever to take down. It's got over 10,000 HP and some really good armor. You know what? Change of plans. Let's just forget about dealing with this thrall. It's way too durable. We don't have that kind of time. Let's just focus on the loot before the owner gets here. So let's just go ahead and destroy this shelf first. If we break it, all the chests should break as well. Okay, so a little update here. I've hit this shelf like 20-30 times now, and for some reason it hasn't broken yet, which is weird because I don't remember shelves having that much HP. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm gonna go back down and pick up some sticks and stones to craft a repair hammer so we can check how much HP it has left. That is so weird, look at that. The shelf only has 1,500 HP and I've hit it over 20-30 times, and for some reason it's still in perfect health. I'm gonna do a little bit of an experiment here. I'm gonna try and break the chests individually instead of the shelf. Let's see what happens. Alright, so check this out. This is complete news to me since this is my first time raiding with the battering ram. So apparently you're only able to break down structures with the battering ram. For a simple chest or a bench maybe, you're only able to do 1 damage per hit, as you can see here. That's honestly a bit disappointing because for some reason I just imagined that something that can break down a wall would easily break down a chest, but I guess it makes sense that it can only damage structures. So I guess this new revelation kind of spoils this raid, unfortunately, since we can't break any of these chests. Makes me really glad that we at least found that other base. Otherwise we would have been so disappointed if we got here and found out we couldn't loot anything. Now before we call this raid off, I do have one final idea that I want to try out that can maybe save this raid. I'm gonna pull my bracelet and go back to our stash and pick up some fire orbs that we looted from our first raid. And we're gonna use these fire orbs to break down the 1500 HP shelf. These fire orbs are considered explosives. They're not as strong as the explosive jars, but they should get the job done, and we should at least be able to walk out with the loot from the chests on the shelf. Alright, here we go, moment of truth. Let's see if this works. We're gonna wait out here and just let the burn damage do its thing. Okay, this has gotta be like a bug or something. It took 0 damage again. Yeah, it's not even taking damage from my weapon. It should at least take 1 damage point, but nothing. We'll try it one final time. If it doesn't work, we'll call it. Yep, it's not meant to be, guys. Everything else is taking burn damage except the immortal shelf. Well, let's see if we can at least end this episode on a somewhat of a fun way. I'm gonna post in global chat and try and get that one player that's online right now to come down and fight us. I got some good news. I couldn't get the first player to fight us, but thankfully a second player logged in just before I left and they accepted a friendly 1v1. For this fight, I'll be messing around with the katana, which I've never used in a PvP fight, so if you start to wonder why I'm so awkward with it, I just never really used it until today. So I just checked the player list and noticed that a second player of that first clan that we raided earlier today, they're online right now. We're gonna go see if he's up for a final 1v1. Alrighty guys, so that is going to be it for this day 2 adventure. I hope you had a good time tagging along despite how the second raid ended. I know this server isn't the most active one right now, but I'm hopeful that by the time I come back to record day 3 in about a week or so, that this server will have come back to life once again. But even if it doesn't, don't worry too much, because we'll just hop over to another server and continue this adventure.